Alright, so we're at the local Dollar Tree. Today we're going to do a Dollar Tree haul, but we're going to do it a little bit different this time. This time I'm going to set up food buckets with the food that I get from the Dollar Tree. Alright everybody, welcome back. So what you see in front of you is what I picked up, and again, we're not talking health food here, we're talking survival food. My goal with this video is to start putting away some stuff to create some real food storage buckets. You know, we see those buckets for sale for $300 and $400, or, you know, 6 months worth of food for 12 people, and you know it's nowhere near the caloric intake, and you know it's probably not right. And a lot of them don't have any real meat in them. They're all either TVP or all sorts of weird stuff, or like one meal in one of them was like chicken flavored rice. I'm like, that's not a meal, that's a side dish. So what I'm trying to do, eventually, is put together some of these buckets. And we're going to put it together just like I did the homemade MREs. We're going to have our own homemade food buckets. And if you have a limited storage space in your home, this is a way to be able to put some of that food away in a closet, under the bed, whatever. You know, use it somehow to put your food away without taking up a ton of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through here and show you everything I got. And see how good of a deal we can do and how we can make this a more efficient kind of way to store food for maybe somebody in a small space or small apartment that doesn't have room to set up storage racks. Alright, so I'm going to start off right in front, and we're not building the bucket today, but I'm going to show you what I got. First off are these Virgo saffron yellow rices. Now again, yes, you can buy white rice or brown rice or whatever and vacuum seal it and store it in the bags, in the buckets, just as easily. I just like these because they're really good, and they're very simple to prepare. If you've ever tried them out, you got all your information on the back. But these are really, really tasty. And, you know, I can imagine putting one of these in with 2 of these chickens and maybe some kind of sauce or seasoning, and you got yourself a meal. And a hearty meal. Not, you know, like some kind of, you know, pasta with chicken flavor or something. You actually have a real meal with some real protein in it. So that's the first thing I got here. And, of course, egg noodles. They're easy to store, they're easy to toss in there. I may reseal them when I put them in the bag, in the bucket. And we're going to do a whole separate video on building the bucket, because we're going to need a lot more food than this that I want to put in a 5-gallon bucket. But these egg noodles, and these were 50 cents, by the way, the rices. The egg noodles were $1. You could probably get them cheaper some places, but for now, that's what we got. Okay, when I mentioned putting something on stuff, I got these. These are these little Velveeta cheese sauces. Now, a word about cheese sauces in general, and this will bring into this stuff here, we'll bring this over, and it's kind of along the same line. If you have something with this cheese sauce, okay, you're going to have to check on it. I don't know when my cheese sauce went bad on my particular meal, but they don't really go bad. I mean, they're not bad to eat. They just won't melt anymore. So when I had one of these with the sauce in it instead of the powder that you add the butter and the milk to, I went to use it to rotate it out because it had fallen in back of my storage. It was about 6 years old, and the noodles were fine, but the cheese sauce was like a brick. And I couldn't squeeze it out. You know, it wasn't liquid anymore. It was kind of firm. And I figured, well, maybe it just got firm over time. I'll toss it in the noodles and it will melt, and it never melted. So they do get kind of crummy over time. I assume this stuff will as well. If you ever had the Velveeta blocks of cheese that don't need refrigeration, they also do the same thing. They'll get really, really hard. So you need to keep an eye on this stuff. You'll need to rotate it out more often. I would probably do this once a year. You know, use this or rotate it out. Same with the cheese and shells dinner. The sauce in here is what's going to go bad on you, not the noodles. So worst comes to worst, you at least still have the noodles, but the sauce is what's going to go bad. But anyway, these are kind of handy to add as a side to something else that you're having. Maybe you're going to make tacos with something or whatever, and you got your cheese sauce right there. Again, there's cheaper ways to do it, but for building the bucket with small portions, individual portions, this is a very easy way to do it. So move that out of the way. Next up, of course, is the ramens. Easy enough to explain how those are useful. I did get some of these Comfort Creek Food dumpling and chickens. These are actually really good. I've opened up one of these and tried it. One of the things I like about this particular Southgate and Comfort Creek that they sell there, as well as this, is the fact that they're not pull tops. They're actual real cans. The expiration date on these, well, should I say the best buy date, is 10/3/2022. So those of you that feel uncomfortable using something past its expiration or best by date, at least you have a while to keep it in the bucket and, rotate it out. And you should date your buckets for when you put the food away. I wouldn't date the food individually in the bucket, but I would date the bucket itself. So you say, okay, I put this away in, let's say, January 2021, because that's probably when we're going to do the video. So that's what I put away. So you date the bucket, not the individual food, and you'll go through it. A year from now, next January 2022, you'll go in there and go, oh, wow, yeah, let's change that out, or let's move that sauce out of there, or whatever. So that's what I do. Next up, Southgate Chili with beans. Not my favorite thing. I'm not a big chili eater, but it's actually this stuff is really good. It's just I'm not a big chili person, but again, I'm not building this for myself. This could be something that you give to your relatives when they show up. Your relatives that you've been telling for 20 years, you should get prepared, and they ignored you. Then they show up empty-handed during a disaster. So it's not a bad idea to have a bucket like this to be able to give to somebody. Or, even better, for you to take with you should you have to evacuate your home and go to a friend's house. You're not showing up empty-handed. And that's kind of a nice thing as well. All right, next up. Now, these I haven't tried. I bought them because they're interesting. These are supposed to be really spicy. I'm going to eat one of these and try them out and see how they are. These are Ramen Soups made by Tapatio. And they are super hot, picante. So we will try them out. I'd probably put one in the bucket for a snack, but I really didn't buy these specifically for the bucket. I wanted to try them, but it wouldn't be bad to stick one of those in there. All right, next up, good old chicken noodle soup. Campbell's, $1 each, not bad. These were 75 cents each, by the way. They weren't $1 each. Not bad at all. And by the way, folks, if you're watching this video and you're on a budget, this is an awesome way to get prepped on a budget. I probably have, less than 20 bucks worth of food here. And this was one trip. And it's really easy to take this stuff and just put it away for an emergency. Whether you're storing it in a bucket, whether you're putting it on your shelves, whatever, you have a little bit of backup food. And if you're on a really tight budget, Dollar Tree is an awesome way to get stocked up. Next up, cheddar broccoli. Now, I know they have these cheaper. I just bought them because I was there. Again, an awesome way to make yourself a little side dish. You can have chicken, you can have some of these, you can have Spam, whatever. They didn't have their generic Spam, by the way, so we'll have to get that next time, or I'll just get regular Spam for the buckets. This is a way to make yourself a nice side dish. They're very filling, and Knorr stuff is always good. And again, this stuff does require cooking. These aren't going to be MREs. These are going to be food buckets that you put away for yourself or a family member should there be an emergency. Next up, a nice side of mashed potatoes. I would say that's enough for at least 2 or 3 people. That's quite a bit of mashed potatoes. And I've been showing you this all along. Chicken, $1 each. Now that's a good deal, honestly. Even the cheapest generic Walmart brand is like 2 something at Walmart. So that's a pretty good deal. Get your protein in there. Of course, we'll be adding more, but it's a good way to stock up on it, and it's ready to go when you need it. And again, for those of you that live by the best buy dates, 2023, 6/7/2023. So if you are a believer in best buy dates and you want to throw the stuff out after that time, which I think is kind of wasteful, I would eat it, you can put it away knowing it's going to be good for quite a while. Okay, these are little Vienna sausages, Vienna bites. Again, what I've discovered with these is you got to watch the seal on these pull tops. These do tend to pop. They'll get bad after a while. However, these are best by October 17th, 2023. So as long as the can integrity is good, you got a good long shelf life on it, and you're ready to go. Now, they did have a ton of different vegetables, and we're going to add more. I just started off with corn because corn's what I like. So we got 2 cans of corn. And again, I understand that there's some places that are a little bit cheaper. You can maybe get it for 79 cents or 50 cents a can. I was really just going to Dollar Tree and building a bucket up from that. So what I'm going to do is maybe once every week or so, I'll go back and check it, buy a few things here and there, and be able to, in probably a week or so, put together a video showing you the calories that you can get from setting this up like this, and how you can actually make some really decent food bucket storage and not fall prey to the whole survival food craze where they give you a bucket that's about this big and it says enough food for 4 people for 4 weeks, and it's like, no, it's not, unless you're going on a starvation diet. So it's kind of a way to store food. It's also a way to put away food for maybe the unexpected guest that shows up, and it doesn't cost you a lot. If you already are like me and have your pantry put away and you got really good working storeroom with rotation and all, this is an easy way to just put a date on a bucket, and a year from now go back and say, let's check everything. Make sure everything's okay, and replenish what you need and add what you don't. So anyway, that's the video for today. It's kind of a Dollar Tree haul / future project that I'm going to be working on. I'm going to pick up the bucket today, and we're going to start adding stuff to it, not for this video, but for a video in the future, and we'll put together a bucket and see what's in there. And I'm going to write on the side of the bucket what's in it, how much calories, how long it would last you, and the date that I put it away. So that way you have a little idea of knowing what's in there, what's ready to go, and it's also a convenient way to store things if you live in very small, cramped places. Being that I spent a lot of time living in New York City in very small apartments, and my last studio apartment was probably smaller than the garage I shoot my videos in, I learned about being, economical with space and not having too much stuff. And you could probably put away 2 to 4 of these buckets and have yourself maybe a month's worth of food fairly easily. It's just a matter of, putting it away and checking the calories, making sure you got everything in there, dating it, and just putting it away and forgetting about it for a couple of years. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, folks. Don't forget to click the bell up top there if you're interested in getting notification when I upload. And don't forget to subscribe if you like the content. And don't forget to check out our store down below. We have our Amazon affiliate store down there. Everything I review on the channel, I try to put in there. I'll let you know if it's cheaper somewhere else. Don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link as well. If you're going to do freeze-dried food, Thrive is probably the best tasting food out there. And don't forget to check out our preparewithiridium.com link. That's our Food for Patriots link. Again, if you have the money to do it, freeze-dried food is a great way to go. You buy it, it comes to your house in a package, you put it away, you forget about it for 25 years. So, anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.